I've put my whole 10 years of learning English into this video. If you miss any point here, I think you'll regret it. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Alex again. Thank yourselves for never giving up on learning English. Today we're going to talk about something a lot of English learners struggle with when it comes to speaking. Let me ask you this question. Do you ever feel like you understand English pretty well, but when it's your turn to speak, suddenly nothing comes out? Or maybe your brain works, but your mouth just freezes? If that's you, don't worry, you're not alone. I was like that 10 years ago, but after 1 year of learning English by myself and almost 10 years of living, studying, and working in London, I noted my top secrets for how to improve this weakness fast. I want to share these honest, practical tips that can help you feel more confident speaking English. There's nothing complicated. Just simple habits that really work and are easy to follow. Let me know in the comments if you have another good tip for other learners. So let's begin. 1. Think in English. To be able to speak well, you need to start with thinking in English first. When I first learned English, before saying any sentence, I would translate it from my original language to English, and then speak it out slowly. I did this because I couldn't think of the word or sentence in English right away. But then I started to train my brain to see things around me in English so I could think in English. It started with small things around me, like a plate, chair, table, pen, trees, road, school, friends, and it worked. Once my eyes became familiar with these words, whenever I spoke, they came straight from my mind. So I think you can start with seeing things around you in English and putting them into a sentence. You don't need to be perfect. You can even think in short, simple words or phrases. For example, if you're hungry, just tell yourself, "I'm hungry." That's it. In addition, you really need to surround yourself with English, podcasts, movies, music, even sticky notes around your house. The more English you hear and see, the easier it is to think in it. 2. Shadowing. This shadowing skill is very important. I think it helped me become confident in speaking English. I couldn't speak English because I never actually spoke it out loud before. But when I repeated after someone, it helped train my mouth to get used to English words. And the more I did it, the more it helped build the speaking habit. You can start with any type of English audio, depending on the level you like. I started with easy sentences first and kept repeating them multiple times with the same pronunciation, same rhythm, and same feeling. You can pick a movie you like and immerse yourself in it. Nowadays, there are a lot of materials like this online, from social media to Netflix and Amazon. The technique is simple. For example, if the audio says, "What are you doing?" you say, "What are you doing?" At first, it might feel funny, but that's the point. You're training your mouth and your ears. And if you do it regularly, trust me, your speaking will start to sound more natural. 3. Everyday phrases. I think anything big starts with small, baby steps. The secret is that you don't need big, complicated sentences to sound fluent. Honestly, mastering small, everyday phrases is much more important at the beginning stage. Things like, "How's it going? That's interesting. I don't understand." If you can use these easily, without thinking, you'll feel so much more confident. Later, you can build longer sentences. But please, start small. 4. Record yourself. Okay, this next one. Some people hate it at first, recording yourself. I know. Even now I don't like to hear my own voice, haha. But it's one of the best ways to improve. I used to stay in the bathroom to do this because when you're in a small room, you can hear your voice repeated louder and more easily. So I would pick a topic, talk about myself or my family, and record it as either an audio or video. Then I'd listen back and evaluate myself. Do I sound smooth or choppy? Do I sound okay? If there's a word I stumble on, like restaurant, I'd practice that word a few times. The next time, it'll be easier. I would often note down all my mistakes and reflect on them to do better each time. If you keep doing this, you'll definitely improve. 5. Practice every day. This tip is about consistency. Like people say, build your habit in 28 days. You really have to do it daily. A small amount of time each day is fine, but just do it to train a good habit first. Later, you can slowly correct yourself. I know some people who set a high target, which is fine at first, but later hard to keep up with and can burn you out. So, I don't really recommend it. Let's start with 5 to 10 minutes a day to practice. 6. Reward yourself. This is quite important for me because if I don't treat this as a challenge and reward myself properly, I don't stay motivated. This training can take a long time, so I recommend you get some little treats in between to make the journey easier. For example, if I can speak confidently about an easy topic like myself, my family, or my job, I'll treat myself to a nice dinner with a friend as a celebration. Nothing fancy, but it keeps you going on the long path. Trust me, motivation is easier when you give yourself little rewards. 7. Break the fear. So, after all the practical tips above, I think it's time we talk about a hidden part: fear. Most people don't speak because they're scared of making mistakes, of sounding silly, of being judged. But the truth is, nobody cares if your English isn't perfect. I even had to use my body language at first when I had a conversation with a foreigner. It was fun, even though I didn't speak much. So, you really need to think positively that making mistakes, while practicing English, is completely fine, and it will help you get better. 8. Chunking. I know many people want everything to sound perfect at first, the same as I did. I wanted to speak a complete sentence so I wouldn't sound rude or silly. But if you are just practicing, you really have to start with small words first. Then, once you are fluent with them, you can add more text later. For example, instead of saying, "I would like a cup of coffee, please," just start with, "Coffee, please." Then add, "A cup of coffee." Then, put everything together. "I would like a cup of coffee, please." Step by step, you will build it. 9. Join English communities. A lot of people admit that learning in groups motivates them a lot. I joined so many activities back then, like local English groups, leading English tours for foreigners, and volunteering groups. I found these groups super helpful. Learning alone is tough. So, joining a community where people use English would help us improve our speaking skills better. It's like a social life, but in English. For me, it was really fun. Do you love K-pop? Find a K-pop fan group in English. Do you love cooking? Follow English cooking videos. Do you love gaming? Play online with English speakers. When you're excited about the topic, speaking doesn't feel like homework. It feels fun. 10. Find a partner. This is highly recommended. I didn't have someone I could talk to daily, but I managed to do this through the community. The lucky part is that I was at a university where my school required us to learn, write, and speak in English every day. For you, if you aren't in the same environment, I hope you can try your best to find an English partner. But if not, it's fine. I know how hard this task can be. So, do you remember any tips that I mentioned above? Today we talked about thinking in English, shadowing, using simple phrases, recording yourself, practicing daily, rewarding yourself, breaking the fear, chunking, joining communities, and finding a partner. It sounds like a lot, and you might want to take notes to follow along. But remember, you don't need to do everything at once. Just pick 1 or 2 tips and try them today. Start with small steps. Or is anyone already doing one of these things? Please let me know in the comments. I bet you will be great at speaking English later. And please, don't forget, your English doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. Every word you speak brings you closer to fluency. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep believing in yourself. You've got this. See you in the next episode. Bye for now.